friends, today I'm gonna do an unhaul. So usually I do an unhaul kind of at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, but because I already knew that I was gonna move in March, I decided to postpone it until now. But here I am with all of the books that I am getting rid of. Now, I feel like I have to kind of say this, by the time you're watching this, these books will already all be gone because I will already be gone from this flat. And so I will already have sent them away. So no, I cannot send you any of these books. But yeah, we're just gonna get through these books that I have. You will have seen a lot of them if you watch Balancing the Books, but I like the closure when I get rid of books. It just makes me feel better to kind of say goodbye in a video before I get rid of them. So let's go. First one I have is The Forsaken by Lisa M. Stess. This is a YA dystopian that I got rid of in Balancing the Books. I had this as one of the books that I wanted to give a chance to, and then if I, didn't like it or didn't finish it, then I would get rid of it. And I did get like 30 pages into it, but I really didn't like it, so I'm getting rid of it. Then I have The Surface Breaks by Louise O'Neill. This is obviously a stunning book, like absolutely stunning, and I would have loved to love it and to keep it, but I DNF'd it, I want to say about like 100 pages or so into it. It was not good. It was not good at all. I thought that the kind of feminist elements in here were not handled well at all. I was really disappointed, and even though the cover is so beautiful, now when I look at it, it does not give me good feelings at all. So I'm actually quite happy to get rid of it. Then I have Do Not Disturb by A.R. Tor. This is the sequel to The Girl in 6E, and I just recently got rid of this in a Balancing the Books because I had to get rid of some books because I buy too many books. Sarah from Books for Tea kind of said that it's not good, and so I just decided to get rid of it without even having read it. I have Strands of Bronze and Gold by Jane Nickerson. This is a book that I've been wanting to read for a super long time. I absolutely love this cover. I could stare at it forever. Maybe I should just hang up a poster of this cover in my room, but I read that there's some racism in here, basically, so that was an immediately no-go. Then I have Hunted by Megan Spooner, which you not know about yet, but I have DNF'd this. Second book by Megan Spooner, I am DNFing. I will talk about this in my next recent DNF video, so, you will hear about my thoughts then, but it was just not good. I bought this so recently. This was really sad. But at the same time, it means that I'm actually reading the books that I buy recently. So in a way it's good, but also it feels bad to get rid of it like 4 weeks after I've bought it. I also have The Warrior Heir by Cinda Williams-Chimer. This was completely different than what I thought it was going to be. The cover kind of led me to thinking this is a medieval fantasy. It's not. It's an urban fantasy, and I gave it a chance, but I couldn't really get into it and DNF'd it around 100 pages. Then I have Marasai by Maria Tochaninov. This is a book that I have read and actually really liked. I give it 4 stars, but I will not be continuing the series, and in general, I just didn't really feel like this needed shelf space. I also have Ash by Melinda Lowe. Read this a couple of months ago. Thought it was just okay. I think I gave it 2 stars? I'm not really sure. I just wasn't really a big fan of it, so it needs to find a better home. Then I have Plötzlich Banshee by Nina McKay. This is a German YA fantasy. I think it's urban fantasy. I got this as a gift from someone and I really appreciate it. And I think that they were actually making a pretty good choice without them actually knowing what kind of books I read. But the thing is, just with all of the books that I own and with all of the arcs that I get, there's just no way I'm gonna read this book. So I feel bad about this, but I'll also no longer see this person. So, and that's not why I'm getting rid of it. I'm just meaning like I probably would have felt more like an obligation to read it if I were still like in, regular contact with that person, but I'm not. So I don't really feel that bad about getting rid of it. Then I have Knife by R.J. Anderson. This is such an amazing reflective cover, but I just realized that I'm not really interested in this anymore. I don't even think I might have read like a couple of pages, but not a lot. And I know this is like a 4-book series or something, and I'm just like, nope, no thank you. Then I have This Song Will Save Your Life by Lila Sales. This is a German copy actually. I held on to this for a really long time, but I realized that if I end up actually reading this book, I just don't want to read it in German, and on top of that it's like a library binding and I just don't really I'm not really feeling it. So has to go. Then I have Three Dark Crowns by Kenda Blake. I read Three Dark Crowns and also One Dark Throne, and after this one was like a 3-star rating, and I think One Dark Throne might have been a 3-star rating too, but I just feel very, very meh about this series. I just don't think it's very good. I think there's too many characters. I'm just really not a big fan of this series, and so there's no reason for me to hold on to this book, even though I fucking love the covers and I love the buttery feeling. I love this. I love the deckled edges. I love everything about the look of this book, and I also love the idea of this, and I totally think that this should have been something that I loved, but it just wasn't executed very well for me personally. Then I have A Thousand Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. This is another book that I DNF'd recently. I just thought that the concept was, like, there was no concept. Like, the world building, it was just the world. There was no building. You know, it was just really not explained, just kind of like seemed very convenient. And it was very heavily focused on the romance, which doesn't necessarily have to mean anything bad for me. But I just thought that where we started off with the main character and her love interests, it just didn't really make me feel invested. Then I have It's Not Like It's a Secret by Misa Zogura. This is a YA contemporary that I also DNF'd. I gave it a couple of pages and then I already had some bad feelings about it. I felt like there were like some racist undertones, and then I skipped ahead a little bit, looked into some reviews, and it was just a mixed bag of problematic things, from racism to the queer rep being really, really bad as well. Like, this girl, I think, cheats on her girlfriend with a guy, even though she's gay. I don't exactly remember. I just was like, what the fuck is this? This is like so fucking bad. So yeah, I'm very glad to see this go. Then I have Ink, Iron and Glass by Gwendolyn Clare. Another DNF. This, I was so excited for this. I gave it like a good 130 pages or something. But at the end of the day, I thought that while the concept is like original and intriguing, the story didn't really deliver. I am also getting rid of Fire Study by Maria V. Snyder, simply because I have this edition of Magic Study and I want these editions of the whole series. And so I am decided just that I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm not foreseeing rereading this anytime soon, so it's not like a needed at the moment. And then at one point I will either be able to just get this one used, or I just buy a whole box set. I don't really know, but I just know that I don't need this version. This one I'm just gonna hold on to. If I buy the box set, then I will also get rid of this one, but for now I'll hold on to it in case I can get the other ones used. But this one is gonna go because the cover is fucking ugly. And then also in that same vein, I'm actually gonna get rid of the whole Glass trilogy by Maria V. Snyder. I usually do not buy whole series, but I loved the Study trilogy and I knew I was gonna read all three of these to, after that, continue with the Soulfinder trilogy. But then when I mentioned these in my Series to Marathon in 2019 video, someone, thank you to that person, they were very respectful. They were like, oh, like, I have some information about one of the series, do you want to know it, or you do not want to know it? And I was like, I want to know it. So they didn't just put spoilers into my comments. They told me something about this series and what happens at the end of it, and I just simply don't want to read it. I don't have any triggers regarding what happens in it, but it's just something that I cannot support and I don't want to support, and something that I just feel like I'm just gonna be reading this trilogy and I'm just gonna dread what's gonna happen at the end of it. I went back and forth with these because I am really enjoying this world and everything, but it just does not give me good feelings at all. So I'm getting rid of these and just gonna continue with the Soulfinder trilogy without having read these in between. Then I have Armada by Ernest Cline. This is a book that I thought of getting rid of, and I was this was one of the Balancing the Books where I was like, oh, I'm gonna give it a chance, and then everybody commented, you don't have to give Armada a chance. It's bad, just get rid of it. So haven't even dived into this one, but happy to let it go. I have 2 books that I had put in this pile that I no longer think I'm gonna get rid of. I'm gonna talk about those at the end though. I also have Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. Now this is another one that I thought long and hard if I actually wanted to get rid of this. I did DNF it, so it's not like I would put it onto my shelf, but I guess I kept thinking, do I want to give this a second chance? And I really like the cover, and there were just so many things going on for me with this book, so I thought about holding on to it. I think this is one of those books that I just have to let go to stop thinking about it, you know? Okay. I don't think I want to get rid of them. I don't think I can do it. Usually once I'm like, I've decided that I'm getting rid of something, I have a really easy time. Like my very first Unhaul, I got rid of so many series, and a lot of them I really liked, and a lot of them had really pretty covers, and I still had no issues letting go of them. So the fact that I'm feeling this attached right now makes me think I should probably not get rid of them. But they are also going to be part of the pile of things that I actually end up keeping, even though they were initially supposed to be unhauled. The other 2 books that I have are Last Call at the Nightshade Lounge, which I've recently read and didn't really love but did really appreciate. And I love just this really, really green spine. And as I said, I thought that it wasn't a bad book. I thought it was a little bit messy, but overall it was enjoyable and really unique. So I'm keeping it for now. I mean, honestly, once I have moved and I'm back at my parents' house for a little while, I will definitely go through some books that I had stored there as well. And maybe in that kind of unhaul it will go, but for now I'm gonna keep it. And also I have Tiny Pretty Things by Sona Charapotra and Doniel Clayton. I initially DNF'd this. I could not really get into it because at the time when I read this there was just some stuff going on and I didn't really want to read a book about dance, and I think I'm in a much better space now, so I think I'd be potentially ready to give this a second chance. So I think this might actually wander back onto my TBR. So I'm keeping this for now. Yeah, I have 2 big stacks of books that I'm gonna get rid of. So I don't feel bad about spontaneously deciding to keep these 5 books. But yeah, I have 2 big stacks of books that I'm gonna get rid of. I love letting books go. If I feel good about it, it satisfies me immensely. So I'm excited to send these off, to get these out of my face and not have to move them, most of all, because I have a shit ton of books and I'm glad if there's less. So yeah, that is my unhaul. I think, again, there might be another unhaul in a couple of weeks once I've kind of settled down at my parents' house and went through all of the books that I still have there. But maybe, I don't know how many there are, so I don't know if there's actually going to be enough. Otherwise, there's just going to be another haul like at the end of the year, as I said, kind of try to do that regularly. So yeah, I make new videos every Wednesday and Sunday with occasional reviews on Friday. So click subscribe to never miss anything and hit the little bell so you get notified as well. And thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!